Am I the asshole for telling my sister her baby's name sounds like a dog's name and now she won't talk to me? My sister had a baby. I'm happy for her. Her baby's name is Ruff. It's rough. It sounds like a dog. I thought she was joking and laughed. I was wrong. She asked me why I was laughing. I said it sounded like a dog barking. Ruff ruff? I thought we were laughing, but she got mad. She was angry. She said I was being disrespectful and that the name had meaning to her and her husband. They love an obscure video game character. I told her that she can name her child whatever she wants, but people will associate it and it might be hard for him in school. She won't return my texts or calls. My mom says I should have kept my mouth shut. Am I the only one seeing this? I didn't mean to be a jerk, but, Ruff. I can't be the only one who thinks this could backfire. So I told my sister that her baby's name sounds like a dog's name. Is she overreacting? Not the asshole. Okay, yeah, you could have handled it better, but that's a ridiculous name for a child. I'm already cringing at the jokes that will be coming once he's older. Hi, my name is Ruff. Oh, is that because your parents were doing it doggy style when you were conceived? Not the asshole. You gave an honest reaction to an absurd name. If she didn't like how you reacted, imagine how she'll like having to deal with all the school bullying coming this poor kid's way. I swear some people just don't think. Kids are not accessories. Not the asshole, but because you ran your mouth you won't be asked to babysit now. You would have had so much fun with that kid, teaching Ruff to stay, roll over, sit. The possibilities were endless. Not the asshole. The name had meaning to her and her husband. They love an obscure video game character. No, that's not meaningful. That's a common interest in something stupid. And just wildly inappropriate for a human child. That's Rough Buddy Prince Zuko, Avatar: The Last Airbender. Honestly feel bad for kids when their parents give them goofy names, because you know damn well they're going to be teased about it constantly. Am I the asshole for not planning my wedding around my stepsister's busy schedule? My fiancé, 26 female, and I, 29 male, are planning our wedding and we set the date not too long ago. My mom reached out after learning the date and all panicked told me that my stepsister, 27 female, couldn't make it and I should call her up and check different dates to find when would work better. I told her that wasn't happening and our date is the date we've chosen. If my stepsister can't make it then the world won't end. My mom was taken aback by my response. She asked me how I could say that. She told me a sibling or any immediate family member missing a wedding is a big deal. For background info, my dad died when I was 6 and my brother was 5. When I was 8 our mom told us she had a boyfriend and when I was 10 she remarried. Her husband had my stepsister with his ex-wife and they shared custody. Our plans once mom remarried revolved around my stepsister. Christmas every other year was celebrated at a different time because she was with her mom and not us. Family parties were missed if she wasn't around because mom was pissed at anyone in the extended family who didn't make sure my stepsister could be there. She would tell my brother and me we should wait to do something for our stepsister to be there or she insisted on it and refused to let us go without her. We resented it, and we did speak up but mom said immediate family needed to be there for Christmas, for example. I told her she wasn't my immediate family so I didn't need to wait. Mom also resented the fact we weren't with her every other Christmas Eve because we'd be with our paternal family. Court-ordered time our grandparents won. She never made everything stop for us though. She'd just tell us we could choose to be with the family versus going with other people, meaning our family. Over time it got worse with her saying, "Why did you see X movie without stepsister? Why go to the arcade event weekend 1 and not wait for weekend 2 so she can join?" It was insanity. It really did a lot of harm to our relationship with mom. Neither of us wanted or needed our stepsister included to enjoy it. Neither of us wanted to be forced to plan stuff around her. We had no choice. That's not how things are anymore. Which mom was shocked I was putting my foot down so strongly about it. She mentioned the immediate family, sibling thing and I told her I have never once considered my stepsister my sibling or my immediate family and I will no longer plan things around her because her attendance is not essential to me. My mom started freaking out on the phone and saying it would really hurt her stepdaughter and husband's feelings to hear this and how she wanted us all to be together for something as big as a wedding. She told me she'd pay the difference for a different day and I said no. I told her my days of catering to my stepsister's schedule are over. Mom went nuts on the phone. I ended the call and I'm dodging her calls and texts now because she's mad. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You've made your position clear. You don't consider your stepsister as part of your immediate family. Her attendance is not essential to you. Ergo, you shouldn't change the date of your wedding to accommodate her. Your mother will just have to respect that. Otherwise, she'll just be admitting that her stepdaughter's feelings are more important than yours about, your own wedding. Not the asshole. Any decision made about a wedding should be up to the people planning that wedding and about those people. You absolutely know that if your stepsister was planning a wedding and you couldn't attend that your mom would insist you put that other event aside. I'm so sorry this is how your mom continually treated you and your brother. You are important you matter. This dynamic is super weird and intense. What's your stepdad like? Is he guilt-tripping your mom or is this all coming from her? Does your stepsister even feel strongly about being at your wedding? Was your mom once a stepkid who felt left out or something? Your mom is yet another person who has tried to force a blended family only to have it blow up in her face. Not the asshole. Not the asshole, but inquiring minds want to know, what's so important that your stepsister can't reschedule? Not the asshole. Tell your mother that you will understand if she doesn't want to attend your wedding because the important daughter will not be there. If that doesn't wake her up, nothing will. Am I the asshole for telling my friend that I'm not a spoiled brat, she just has daddy issues? I just went back to school this week, and on the first day back, I forgot my project that I was supposed to hand in. I had it prepared and put it in the back seat of the car, but I completely forgot to take it with me when I got out. I suddenly remembered it at lunchtime, and asked my dad if he could drive back to school so I could get it, and he agreed. The drive from my house to school is around 15 minutes, and my dad's job only has a 4-day work week, so he was completely free. One of my friends kept on going on and on about how I'm such a spoiled brat, saying that she could never dream about her dad dropping everything because of her mistake. Her dad walked out on her as a kid, and her stepdad is an awful person. I asked her to just drop it, but she just doubled down. I eventually snapped and told her that I'm not a spoiled brat just because I don't have daddy issues like her. She bursted out crying, saying I crossed the line, and she has been ignoring me since then. Am I the asshole? Given that you knew the issues she's having at home, you knew that your response would hurt. She's certainly the asshole for continuing to harass you over your dad doing something nice for you. But it sounds like you were being cornered and said what you could to get her to stop, so not the asshole. Both myself and my husband would, and do this for our kids. You have a good father, and I think your friend sounds a little jealous and is probably lashing out due to this subconsciously, but I would feel bad for her more than anything. She's clearly had no positive male role model in her life like your father, and so doesn't realize you're not spoiled but have a normal relationship. Not the asshole. If she didn't want you crossing the line, she shouldn't have pressed you to it. You offered to stop the argument. She chose to escalate. Escalation ensued. Not the asshole. People really in this thread acting holier than thou and saying shouldn't have said that, but have the post-history of agreeing that a kid is allowed to talk shit about a parent's relationship issues because the parent was rude. You asked her to stop. She didn't. If you want someone to act nice, be nice. You aren't responsible for her issues, and she doesn't get to call you spoiled and expect you to take it. Could have been handled better, but not the asshole. You did what you could to move past that conversation, but your friend wanted to persist. It's like someone saying, I don't know why the dog bit me. I was just doing everything in my power to annoy it. Not the asshole. My dad was all but absent from my life. I don't think people who have parents that care about them and are willing to do things for them are brats. Just mildly jealous. Am I the asshole for telling my sister-in-law the world doesn't revolve around her and her kids? I, F33, am a mother of 2. The other day was my son's 5th birthday and my husband and I threw a party at our home. The party has caused a bit of a rift between me and my husband's twin sister, Eve, F36. Eve and I don't have much in common and usually I only see her during holidays and special occasions. She and my husband are not particularly close either. For context, Eve has 3 kids, ages 9, 5 and 2. A few days before the party, Eve messaged me that she may not go because it will be during her youngest's nap time. I told her that her kid is more than welcome to sleep at our home and we can put her in our youngest's bed. Eve said she would think about it but that she probably will not come. Eve didn't message me or my husband again, so we assumed she was not coming, but she did turn up on the day. Like 5 minutes after she arrived, she asked if the bed was set up for her youngest and I explained we weren't expecting them, so I'll need a few minutes to get it ready. Eve asked if we don't keep our kids' bedrooms tidy, which really irritated me. Eve's daughter slept fine. She did fuss a bit waking up, but at least the nap time issue was solved. She saw the cake we had for our son, which was hidden in our kitchen so he wouldn't see it before it was time to blow out the candles. She said that her kids will not eat that kind of cake. It was lemon cake, if that matters. I know that a lot of kids probably aren't keen on lemon cake, but it's what my son likes. I told Eve that we did have some candy in our kitchen that her kids could have so they don't feel left out of having a treat. They ended up leaving abruptly before we got the cake out and only said bye to my husband. They then came back with chocolate cupcakes from the corner shop. Before we'd done cake and candles for my son, they were only gone for maybe 20-30 minutes, and started serving them to their kids. This caused some of the younger kids at the party to start fussing because they wanted the cupcakes too and there wasn't enough to go round. Eve also repeatedly connected her phone to our Bluetooth speakers to play music without asking us, when we already had music playing. I asked her to stop because it was just making the house sound like a mishmash of music, and she said that I'm being a grump. I guess that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, and after the party I told her that the world doesn't revolve around her and her kids. She called me selfish and said that I need to lighten up. She and her family quickly left. My mother-in-law and father-in-law were still at our house, which made things quite awkward. Eve has been giving my husband the cold shoulder since, and I'm wondering if I'm the asshole. So, sister-in-law shows up. Without confirming. Criticizes how you keep your kids' rooms. Complains that your son's birthday cake isn't to her kids' liking, so she goes out and buys them what they like. And then she served them to her kids before the birthday cake comes out in front of the entire party eyes. And then she co-opts the Bluetooth and refused to stop? And she called you selfish? Laughing my ass off. Wow, that's just spectacular projection right there. She customized your party to her preferences and was surprised you had a problem with that. You are not the asshole, but you're Sil. Wow. Not the asshole. People who are selfish and rude will often accuse others of being selfish and rude if they aren't given exactly what they want as soon as they demand it. If she's staying out of the way, take the win. Not the asshole. Sister-in-law. Didn't RSVP. Expected special treatment although she didn't RSVP. The bed made for her kids' nap. Complained about when the food was being served and the type. Left the party. To get their own cake. Didn't buy enough cake for everyone and waved it under a bunch of kids' noses. Commandeered the entertainment system. Any one of those means that her family shouldn't be invited to other events. All of them at one event. Hell no to any more invites. Not the asshole. Your sister-in-law is quite the entitled brat. What clueless self-centered person does what she did? Normal people do not. And I can well understand why mother-in-law and father-in-law may have been awkward, as they were primarily responsible for raising this brat in the first place. Sucks to be them, right? Have your husband tell your sister if she cannot act like a decent adult in your house she won't ever be invited back again. Her kids were fine though, so I guess there's that. Her behavior points to one unassailable conclusion. She is the asshole. You are not the asshole. Husband needs to manage his people, you need to manage yours. That is what is healthy. Just because he chooses to accept their annoying behavior does not mean that everyone who has a relationship wants to deal with or tolerate that. He is the bridge and needs to set the tone.